Hi everybody, so this quick video is going to talk about graphs of tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant, and Desmos. And we're not trying to do everything here, right? This won't replace learning how to graph like by going through your lessons, but it will help you when you're trying to graph in Desmos. So I'm going to start by kind of regrouping our functions of tan, cotan, secant, and cosecant. And the groups I'm going to put together are tan and secant are going to go together, and cotangent and cosecant are going to go together. The reason that I put them together this way is that tan and secant both have a denominator of cosine, so that says they're going to have the same domain and they'll have the same asymptotes. Tan and secant both have vertical asymptotes where x is equal to pi over 2 times k, where k is an odd integer. The other two then, cotan and cosecant, both have a denominator of sine of x. Those two will have vertical asymptotes at x is equal to pi times k, where k is just any integer. To give you a better view of that, let's just go to Desmos and graph a little bit. All right, so let's start out by just saying f of x is equal to tangent of x. I've already changed my settings by going to the gear, and I told it to do steps of pi over 2. You could put different steps if you want to. It kind of depends on what you're looking at as a graph. I want to put in asymptotes, but I don't want to have to write x equals a bunch of times. So instead I'm going to say a is equal to, I'm putting in a list. We said our asymptotes are at pi over 2 times k, where k is an odd integer. So I'm going to make a list of odd integers. Maybe I'll start at like -5, -3. Desmos is smart. It will get the idea of what's happening. So I could tell it maybe to go to 5, and it says those are 6 elements. If you want more than that, put in more numbers. To have it graph my asymptotes, I say x is equal to, we go back to pi over 2, but now I multiply by a, because that's where my values of k are. Then I'm going to go to my settings and say that's not going to be a line, it's going to be an asymptote, so I dash it. So this was a quick way to put in a lot of asymptotes and not have to do a lot of work. While we're looking at tangent, let's go ahead and change the graph to secant so you can see why I grouped them together the way I did at the beginning of the video. Switching to secant, I have those same asymptotes, so I didn't have to make any adjustments to this graph. You will, of course, have to change the graph if you have a phase shift or a period that changes, so let's just try that really quick. Let's say I put in 2 here. So I made the period smaller. That means I need to divide by 2 on my asymptotes, so that would be pi over 4, so I have more of them. If you want to add more asymptotes, then you can do that along with it. So just be aware of the changes you have to make and be consistent. When you change one place, you change another place. So let's go ahead and switch over to looking at maybe cotangent. So I'll start with f of x equals cotan of x. I'm once again going to put in a list, but this time I don't need to have odd numbers, I just need numbers, so integers. Let's maybe start at -4, -3, -2, and again you can go ... say I stop at 4, it'll keep track of how many elements I have. To put in my asymptotes, I write x is equal to capital A times pi. That spreads them out to go with the graph. Go to the settings, change the solid line to a dashed line. And just like before, if I want to switch from cotan to cosecant, I see that my asymptotes are still in the right place. I can zoom in to show you a few more of them. Same thing's going to happen here that happened when I looked at tan and secant. If I change the period, let's say make this one 5 times x, then I'm also going to have to divide by 5. When I look at my asymptotes, zoom in so you can see it. So pay attention again to the connection between period and asymptotes or phase shift, whichever ones you have to do.